This is the Marvel Masterworks vidcast, True Believers, where we cover all of the adventures in the Marvel Universe. From the wanderings of the Green Goliath, to the chaotic offices of the Daily Bugle, to the grim alleyways of Hell's Kitchen, and to the top of Avengers Tower. With your hosts, Adam and Chris.
Welcome to another episode of the Marvel Masterworks podcast and vidcast. As always, I'm your host, Adam, and with me is my co-host, Chris. Chris, how's it going?
Very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. We are, of course, in the post-San Diego Comic-Con 2024 world. And we have a movie to discuss. That movie, of course, being Deadpool and Wolverine. But again, since Comic-Con has just relatively recently come and gone, we'll discuss what we learned from that Hall H panel from Marvel Studios, and then we'll take our break as we usually do, and then we'll come back and review the long-awaited Deadpool and Wolverine team-up in live action. Yes, to delete the exploitative so Donnie doesn't have to do extra work.
I'll try to keep it that way.
Right, yeah. Let's poor Donnie. Let's not give him more work to do. But or else he's going to start asking for a raise, and that's going to be problematic for me. So at this year's San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel Studios kept it relatively light in the sense that they only focused on 3 of their upcoming films. Those 3 films being Captain America, Brave New World, Thunderbolts, with an asterisk, because apparently there's more to the title, we just don't know it yet. And then Fantastic Four, which is now subtitled First Steps, I believe.
Yeah, First Steps.
Yeah. So those are the 3 films they focused on, and then there was a surprise at the end, which we'll get to. So they kept it relatively contained, compared to several years gone by where they announced 47 projects, including Blade, and we still yet.
We'll get to that, but I mean, I think this was a cool showcase for them because, like, Comic-Con has been pretty quiet in general the last few years, and this was like a return to form. This was San Diego Comic-Con at full power.
Right. Yeah. No, but I did like that they kind of sort of scaled it back in the sense of let's focus on what's coming, as opposed to promising 40,000 things.
Yeah, I do like that too. I agree that it wasn't a promise. It was this is what's actually happening now. Yeah. This is what we're doing. And
then there's more. Of course, they have D23, which they also have to sort of share some of the announcements with. So I'm sure there'll be more there. But for now, this is what we got. So for Captain America: Brave New World, the interesting thing for me is, of course, they brought the whole cast on stage, including Harrison Ford. And first of all, just listening to Harrison Ford in post-panel interviews is hilarious, and I'm going to enjoy this era, however long it lasts, with Harrison Ford. Mm-hmm. Just simply because they start talking to him about jargon, about 616 and this and that, and he has no freaking clue about what that all means. And I love it. It's just like, oh, that's the one I'm in? Okay, yeah, great.
I feel like Harrison Ford, you can even ask him about something Star Wars related, he still won't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He's like, tell me when I got to show up to do the job. I'll do the job and I'm done.
He just wants his check and...
exactly. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's not
I respect it.
That's not saying that, listen, he's just doing this for a paycheck and he's going to phone it in. I'm sure he gives a good performance because he always puts in a solid performance. Yeah. But, let's not mince words and say he took this role for the artist's integrity and the fulfillment of emotional sustenance, or whatever jargon you want to call it.
He's no Joaquin Phoenix.
Right, exactly. So they brought him on stage, and a couple of interesting things from the panel is that they acknowledged that this movie is going to be the first mention of adamantium in the 616 universe. And it's going to involve a celestial that's in the middle of the ocean from Eternals. So something from Eternals is actually going to carry over into another movie. which is nice because I don't think we're getting Eternals too.
No.
And it's going to be adamantium, so that's cool. The fact that this is going to be our first, 616 exposure to adamantium, I like that. And the other thing I did like from the panel was the talk of Harrison Ford's President Ross hulking out at the White House.
Yeah.
During a press event. That sounded pretty cool.
Yeah. The
visual of that is probably going to be really cool.
I think the visuals of the movie will be cool, but for me, something about this movie's not hitting yet. And I love Captain America. I like Sam a lot.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
But something is not clicking with me here.
Anything in particular that you could nail down, or?
I don't know. I think that...
Is it the presence of Red Hulk? Is
it what?
Is it the presence of Red Hulk?
No, I like the Red Hulk thing. I think Red Hulk is cool. Mm-hmm. But
we got some kind of video interference here. Wait a minute.
Yeah, is the audio still working?
The audio is working. I can hear you, but
hold on. Sorry, Donnie.
Sorry, Donnie. We'll just pick it up, and you can edit this stuff out as it is. Or we'll leave it in. It'll be a fun little.
Okay, there we go.
I'm just waiting for it to click in. I don't see anything yet. Hang on. Oh, there we go. You're back.
Okay.
All right. So
I don't know what it is particularly that's bugging, or not bugging, but just not catching me, because I do like Harrison Ford as Ross. I think that's cool. I think it may be just the look of it, and still don't know a lot about it. Plus, the rumors have kind of set in my mind that this is gonna be terrible.
Oh, because of all the prolonged.
Yeah, I think maybe once I see more of it, or just see the movie itself, I'll be more into it. Yeah. Like right now, I'm not really feeling it, I guess.
Yeah, like I said, for me, I liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the Sam Wilson character, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of his transition into Captain America.
I love the suit.
Oh, yeah, me too. But specifically, I'll be 100% honest. The real draw for me is seeing Red Hulk.
Are you a big Red Hulk fan?
I think it's a cool concept of having, ideally I'd like him to battle it out with the Hulk. It's the ideal situation. But with the version of the Hulk that we've gotten, which I call him the neutered Hulk, I don't know if we're ever going to get that. Like, can we get Angry Hulk back? I don't know how we're going to accomplish this, but
we haven't seen him in a while.
I want Angry Hulk. But I was, to clarify, I was reading, one of the rare times that I read Incredible Hulk before Philip Kennedy Johnson came on, and I started reading that. But before that, it was when Jeff Loeb and Ed McGuinness were on the title, and they introduced Red Hulk. So that's probably why I have a little bit of affection for the character. Yeah.
Is Red Hulk a Loeb creation?
Yeah, Loeb and McGuinness.
I might have to check that out.
Yeah,
if Loeb's name is on it,
as soon as I saw Loeb and McGuinness, because of they had launched the Batman Superman title way back. Yeah. When they were on that book, I'm like, all right, I'm in. Yeah, whatever they're doing, I'll.
It's Loeb.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's probably why I'm more excited, because of the Red Hulk stuff. But again, we're getting our first talk of adamantium, and
I like that.
And like I said, I'm intrigued to see more of Sam Wilson becoming Captain America, or settling into the role, I should say.
I think he'll be settling into it. I think the best part is the Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
Is that final episode, his entrance?
Yes.
That is one of the best entrances in anything comic book related.
I agree. I agree with that, actually. And so, again, the length of reshoots, I should say, is concerning. But I think we're all still suffering whiplash from the whole Justice League scenario. That's part of it as well, I think, as fans.
Yeah, anytime you hear reshoots now, you think, oh no.
I'm hoping this will be good, and it'll actually start to sort of lessen the knee-jerk reaction of, reshoots. something's wrong, you know.
Yeah, but there's a weird thing about it. Like Giancarlo Esposito was part of the reshoots. Now he's all over the trailer.
Yeah.
It's like, where did this come from?
I mean, the positive is the way you could construe it in a positive manner is, they watch dailies, they realize something wasn't working. They're like, let's redo it, as opposed to crap. We gotta get this out. Let's make a Frankenstein version of it.
Yeah, and they cut stuff out knowing it didn't work. So a lot of respect. It's just, like I said, I'm gonna see it. I love Captain America. Yeah. I like Sam. I want to see what Harrison Ford does in this movie.
Right.
It's just I'm not. The trailer isn't selling me. That's all. But I'm sold from the title.
I'm not. Let's say, knocking down doors.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like if tickets went on sale today, I'd be in a rush to have them locked down right now. Right? You know what I mean? Whereas with Deadpool and Wolverine, I certainly was. But again, we'll get to that in a bit. Thunderbolts, they also brought the cast on stage. They even had David Harbour in his
Red Guardian.
Is it Red Guardian?
That's Red Guardian.
Shows you how into the Black Widow movie I was, and not because I didn't like it. It's just I don't remember much of it. But yeah, Red Guardian. They had him come out there, and again, they tried to recreate the Loki effect. That's
Every what they were going for.
But this one didn't do it. The one later did it, but we'll talk about that. The reveal later. But so, a couple things we learned from this this panel. The actor playing Sentry was dancing around the fact that he's playing Sentry and wouldn't confirm or deny it. But it's like, at this point, everybody knows who you're playing. Like, I don't know what the secret is. So that was kind of weird. But they did say that the members of the Thunderbolts team are all sort of recruited unknowingly for the same mission. But it's a setup, which they'll discover once they all get there, I guess. And I guess who or what they're facing off against is probably Sentry. To which I'm like, Florence Pugh was like, oh, this has never been done before. And I'm like, well, it kind of has, and you just described 2016 Suicide Squad. But sure, we'll go with it's never been done before.
For Marvel.
Yeah, sure, yeah, that's the classification that would have been more appropriate. But look, I think I'm more where you are with Captain America, Brave New World for this film, where it's like, I'll see it. Florence Pugh is in it, so obviously on the list. So I'll be there, but it's like my excitement is not there for it. Like, we've just now, as a result of Comic-Con, it's been revealed that Thunderbolts will be in the next two Avengers movies. So there's I gotta see it because they're going to be in it. So there's that gotta see it factor. But again, the excitement for this particular one for me isn't there right now. Maybe with trailers and stuff that'll change. But right now it's just, I'll see it because, basically out of MCU connectivity obligation, more than desire to actually see it. But your thoughts on basically what they, quote unquote, revealed about the plot? I mean, is it just me saying it sounds like Suicide Squad or?
No, it's MCU Suicide Squad. That's exactly what it is. Right. They've even got a Waller with Julie Louis-Dreyfus' character, Val. Yeah. It's Suicide Squad, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the concept of Suicide Squad has been around forever. Right. That kind of film story. But this is one that, like you put it best, I'm not going to knock down doors.
Yeah.
But that said, I like a lot of the characters that are in it. It has Florence's character, what do they call the White Widow?
White Widow, yeah, White Widow.
It's got I like Red Guardian. He's fun. Yeah. I actually liked what they did with him at Comic-Con. You guys didn't dress up, and he dropped the accent.
Oh, no, it was cool. It was cool, though. Yeah,
it was fun.
It just didn't hit the way Loki did.
Right. No, nothing's gonna hit like that. But I like Red Guardian. Bucky's in it. I love Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky's
Ghost is in it.
Yes. Yeah.
So I like all these characters. Okay. Yeah. So I like all these characters. I'm in for this. I would like to see a trailer, but I am with you too. Like I said, I'm not going to knock down doors for it. When it comes, and that's cool with me. I'm more curious what the subtitle is or whatever. Like,
I'm guessing it's Thunderbolts versus Sentry is just, or some variation of that is my guess.
I don't know, because Sentry's not like a character people know.
But again, everybody knows he's there, so what's the secret? Like, what's the secrecy?
Well, I think, wasn't it rumored this is also about adamantium?
Ah, okay, maybe.
So, what if it's called like the search for adamantium or the battle or something?
Thunderbolts, Discovery of Adamantium? I don't know.
Something real comic booky.
Thunderbolts, just get to 616 Wolverine already. That'll be the subtitle.
Thunderbolts and Wolverine. That's what this thing is called.
Listen, they might as well put him in everything based on the Deadpool box office.
It's going to hit 1 billion. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Maybe more so than Captain America?
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Again, maybe once like I said, the characters are all pretty cool. So once I see a trailer, it'll change. I mean, reading a description about basically Marvel Suicide Squad isn't something that has me, like jumping for joy. A trailer may move the needle more so. So we'll see.
We'll see what the characters can do together.
Right. Yeah. And if the budget is manageable, then I'm sure it'll make a nice chunk of change. That seems to be a question with some Marvel movies lately. Is the budget manageable? Then we got, I think, what most people were actually excited for before the surprise, which was Fantastic Four. They brought the Fantastic car out, and it was kind of like they had it flying.
It was flying.
Yeah, around. There
were no wires.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. Around and cool. Around the stage in Hall H, and they had the cast, and they basically just talked about how the cast, I'm saying, sort of getting familiar with each other and having sort of chemistry sessions for a couple of weeks to kind of create that family dynamic, which is important for the Fantastic Four. Obviously, because you're trying to sell them as a family, then they better have familial type of chemistry. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Like if you can't sell the family dynamic, then the whole thing falls on this. Yeah, exactly. It falls on its face. Apparently, they showed. I guess I don't know if it was previs or test footage of.
It was like
or something. Yeah.
You know what? I've seen it. I can say that.
I haven't seen it, so
I've seen it. It looks like a trailer. In fact, if they didn't say it wasn't a trailer, I would have said this is a trailer. You get looks at everybody, and you do see Galactus full on.
How does Galactus look?
Badass. Okay, he is not a cloud.
I'm glad.
Actually, I shouldn't say you see him full on. You don't see the full body. You see the head.
I think you see his eyes, right? Yeah, the head and his eyes.
Well, you see the head and the eyes, yeah. Okay,
yeah. All right, cool.
He is not a cloud, folks.
And just since you've seen the footage, and I think it's been removed since because I can't find it. Do you see the suits, like the four?
No.
Okay.
No, it's very much before the incident, I believe. That's what.
Okay. So they're going to probably show the incident at some, because I know this isn't an origin per se, but I'm assuming they're going to show the incident at some point in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Like, I think
flashbacks or some sort.
I think it'd be, like, this is my opinion on every comic book movie. If you're gonna do origins, do them in the credits in like a comic book style, kind of like the Spider-Man movies the Raimi ones had. Do that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually campaigning for, if Superman does have a flashback to his origin, do it like the Super Sons animated series or animated movie, I should say. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah, I love that. You're saying do like an animation?
It doesn't have to be an animation, but that kind of style of how they did it.
Oh, okay.
During the credits, I think that would be cool. But so yeah, it seems like in some way, shape, or form, we're gonna get a call back to the accident. So yeah, and I did like the fact that they confirmed, the alternate 60s set yet futuristic combined New York City kind of deal. That's going to be a cool visual aspect for it. We got news that Michael Giacchino is going to do the score.
Yeah, that's cool.
And that's going to be a banger of a score.
Yeah, big Fantastic Four saga.
Because well, I mean, what do they call that? Or the Epic Galactus saga featuring
That sounds good.
Let's really get technical now, but and they actually were on stage with the boss, which is Kevin Feige of Marvel, right? Matt Shagman was on stage with the boss, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, so look, my excitement for Fantastic Four has sort of steadily started, kind of grown from the announcement with the imagery and every time they put out, some of that post art, it gets incredibly more. I get more interested in, with the Giacchino announcement. That's piqued my interest. With what the one small still I did see of Galactus, because that's the only thing I can comment on, because it's the only thing I saw. But that looks really cool, and it's a far cry from a cloud, which is nice. So I am excited for Fantastic Four. I still can't believe that it comes 2 weeks after Superman, and it just started filming a few days ago.
It's moving.
That I find a little bit still unbelievable to believe. It wouldn't shock me if there was a date move in his future, just because they've got a lot of VFX and stuff to do. So to be determined. I mean, if it does come out on that date, I'll see Superman first, and then see Fantastic Four, and then hell, maybe do a double bill that day. That'd be a good day. Superman
That's a good day.
So, but I'll see it regardless of when it comes out, and I'm really excited for it. So I was happy with the stuff that I read and the small peek that I saw from the panel. Then, when the panel was supposed to be over, Kevin Feige confirmed that the Russo brothers are back to direct Secret Wars and the Avengers movie that used to be called Kang Dynasty. It's no longer called Kang Dynasty anymore. In terms of the official confirmation of the Russo brothers returning, I have zero issues with this move. I know there's a lot of complaints online of it's just Marvel playing it safe, and in a way I see that, but by the same token, Marvel had its biggest box office successes with the Russos, and the Russos had their biggest successes in filmmaking with Marvel Studios. So it makes sense on both sides, when both sides have come off of struggling years since they teamed together, that when you're talking about two movies combined that are probably going to cost in the vicinity of $600 million, that they'd all re-team together. Like, it makes sense to me.
It's a good time to get the band back together.
Right. Exactly.
The Russos need them, and Marvel needs them.
Yeah.
And I think that, I have seen a lot of people saying they're playing it, like you said, they're playing it safe. This is lazy, and a lot of other stuff. But really, if you think about it, this is the way I think of it. If James Gunn announces he's bringing back Christopher Nolan to do Batman and Robin, whatever the hell the thing's going to be called.
Yeah.
He says, Andy's out, Nolan's in. How many people are going to complain?
Not a soul. And I won't be one of them either. And I want Andy Muschietti to direct it, but I wouldn't complain.
Right. So, same scenario here.
Right, exactly, yeah.
You're like, come on, guys.
But there's an added benefit of that hypothetical scenario, which I won't say on air, but you know where I'm going with that. But I digress. It's not going to happen, but anyway. Now I'm thinking about it.
But I think that this is a case like that. The Russos have done really well with Marvel. Even if you don't like their Avengers stuff, Winter Soldier is one of the top MCU films, in my opinion. I think it is my favorite MCU film. So I cannot be upset with them coming back. I'm very excited that they're coming back.
Yeah, me the same. And so they did reveal the name change of
the name too.
Kang Dynasty, which is Avengers Doomsday. And the title card, shockingly, and I say that sarcastically, the Doomsday word was in a font that was green in color and very much, again, shocking no one, Doctor Doom inspired, because they also announced that Doctor Doom is going to be the big bad of the next two Avengers films. And then They brought a bunch of people dressed in Doom attire, like Doctor Doom attire. Not Doom the video game, like Duke Nukem, or Superman Doomsday.
And whatnot.
Yeah, or Superman Doomsday with a bunch of Doomsdays on stage.
That
That would have been intriguing because what kind of crossover are we talking about here?
Maybe all the different Doomsdays we've seen so far in live action too.
Maybe that would be interesting. But so they brought a bunch of Doctor Doom inspired dressed up people on stage, and the Russos said that they confirmed Doom as the villain, and they were saying that in order to have one of the biggest villains, one of the best villains in Marvel Comics history in a movie, you needed one of the best actor to play him. And then they said, so here's Dr. Doom, and the person steps forward, pulls down the hood, takes off the mask, and it's Robert Downey Jr. So Robert Downey Jr. is going to play some sort of version of Dr. Doom. This is a lot to sort of process, because my initial reaction online, watching, the Twitter update itself every 5 seconds, was, huh? What? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening here? So, first I'll say, as an actor, do I think Robert Downey Jr. is talented enough and has the chops to play the persona of Dr. Doom? Absolutely, without question. Is it a little weird that the guy who has been the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Iron Man is now playing some version of Dr. Doom? Yes. Am I going to say I love this, unabashedly, or hate it irrationally? Either way, no, because there's still so much to be discovered regarding what exactly this is. My personal opinion, and then I'll shift over to get your take, is there's no, at least in mine, I could be wrong because I've been wrong before, many times. There's no way in my mind that this is not anything but a variant of Tony Stark. It's a Tony Stark from a different universe that, instead of going down the path that led him to Iron Man, led him to becoming Dr. Doom. And the reason I say that is because they're paying a reported, I think, $80 million for 2 movies.
Yep.
There's no way they're going to keep Robert Downey Jr. under a mask the whole time. So when the other Avengers, especially Spider-Man, sees his face, you can't have him just act like he's never seen that guy before. Because you could, but that's asking, I think, the audience to suspend way too much disbelief that this is just a totally new guy that we're just supposed to forget looks exactly like Tony Stark. So I think it is a variant. And that does have some emotional power in terms of, his once friends now having to battle and take down the guy who has one of their best friends' faces. So that'll be interesting. What's your take on the whole scenario?
I'm glad that I've had some time to sit with it, because my knee-jerk reaction was, I don't like this. I don't get it. I don't like it. I've softened a little bit on it. I still think it is a bizarre choice. Yeah. Because there were so many other actors to play Doom. Literally, there's a ton of them. But at the same time, I love Robert Downey Jr. I don't think he misses when it comes to anything he does. And I don't know if we've really seen him play a hardcore villain before.
Sure, yeah.
Like Oppenheimer, we see some of that. And
but that's based off of a real person.
It is.
You sort of have to adhere to.
That's what I say. You can't really go off that. Like we've never seen him like fly off the handle in a movie, as far as I can remember. Yeah. So it's interesting. It's not what I would have done, but where they have me is that I am so curious about it.
Yeah.
It would make me look stupid to say I hate this because I am so curious. I have to see what they're doing. And when we talk, is it a variant? Is it not? They introduced him as Victor Von Doom.
Right.
But at the same time, like you said, he's not going to keep the mask on. It's Robert Downey Jr. You might have got like Cillian Murphy to keep the mask.
You're going to show his face.
Right. You might have got Cillian Murphy to keep the mask on.
Yeah.
Downey's not going to do that. And beside that, the other thing I was thinking, well, Doom is disfigured.
Sure.
Are they really going to muck up Downey's face? I don't know. So I'm just
they might put a scar on it, but it's not going to be disfigured to the point of, hey, who is that?
Well, I'm expecting like just a scar across his nose or something stupid.
Sure, yeah.
I'm scarred. I got to wear the mask.
From here to here,
Right. Yeah. He's going to look like Eric Draven or something.
Yeah, he's not going to look like Two-Face.
No. So I think that it will. I'm just so curious about it. I don't love it, but they've got me. I have to see what they do. And I think the moment everybody's waiting for, Peter Parker and Doom. Everybody's waiting for that now.
Because I just want to hear him say Mr. Stark, and then the first thing he does is choke him.
Yes.
Like the Undertaker when he put the chokes before the
They have organically set up something so insane.
Yeah.
We all want to see it now. And I know there's people that'll say they don't and they hate it, and that's fine. I respect you, but I am in.
I mean, say what you want. You could say you hate it, but let's not deny that everybody who says they hate it are also going to be in the theater opening weekend.
Probably.
Right? So it's like, don't sell me the bill of goods that you're going to boycott it because you don't like the Robert Downey Jr. casting. You're going to go because you're as curious as anybody else, whether you love it or hate it, on what they're actually doing here.
That's the thing. You could hate it because, like I said, I don't love it either, but I'm so curious. I have to see it. I have to see what this is. They won.
Like, and I'll put it on something on me. Look, if James Gunn Monday morning announces, "Hey, listen, we're bringing back Zack Snyder. We're going to let him actually make Dark Knight Returns." Well, I don't want that. But am I going to sit here and say I'm not going to go to the theater and watch that? Of course I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to lie and say, well, I'm boycotting. Of course I'll be in the theater. So it's the same idea here for people that don't like, the Robert Downey Jr. casting. So very intriguing. Supposedly he's going to appear in a post-credit scene first in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So, and shocking nobody, the Fantastic Four are also going to be in both Avengers movies.
Did you, before we wrap up on the Doom thing, have you seen the theory? I've seen a couple people say this now, that it could be the Doom from that Fantastic Four universe using like a mind trick to transfer his consciousness.
Yeah, I've heard that because there is a comic that's done that.
Yes, there is. That's an interesting thing. I kind of
want to read that comic now.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because there is that Iron Man Doom suit.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. I think it might be called Iron Doom or something like that. And then there was the other rumor that Secret Wars will have two Dooms: the actual 616 Doom and whichever Doom this is.
I could see that too.
Yeah,
I mean,
some fun stuff.
While we're at it, are we going to have Robert Downey Jr. pulling double duty and also a variant of Iron Man?
Can you imagine like the finale of that movie is Iron Doom versus Real Doom, and then he like snaps out of it? I am Iron Man.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that'd be cool.
Because how do you have Secret Wars and not have a variant of Iron Man?
Yeah,
it's like, come on,
Tom Cruise.
And, well, hey, listen, there's a rumor that they're trying to do that, so we'll see. But look, it's intriguing. We're going to have to wait until the end of Fantastic Four to get a little piece of the puzzle here.
I just got much more interested.
Yeah, but definitely interesting. And I'm going to be there opening weekend, regardless, to find out. So in that sense, the announcement did its job. And when Robert Downey Jr. said new mask, same task. The task is let's get back $1 billion, and I think they're on their way. I mean, Deadpool Wolverine's already doing that, but the Avengers aspect of the franchise is that's the task. We'll see, but they're on their way for sure. That's all the news we got from San Diego Comic-Con on the MCU side. There's also D23 coming up, where I'm hoping we get some more Daredevil Born Again. And you know that when that happens, whatever we learn from D23, Chris and I will cover it on our next Marvel episode. So stay tuned for that. But we're going to take a quick break, and then on the other side, we're finally going to talk about, as Chris likes to dub it, the Return of the King in Deadpool Wolverine. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What's up, everyone? It's the Emerald Enthusiast. For all of your multiverse viewing and listening needs, check out our shows, which include Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, Power Rangers, the Marvel Universe, and the DC Universe, including the Emerald Echo podcast. You can check us out on Podbean, and remember to subscribe right here on YouTube. That's the Multiverse Musings Podcast Network. From the first podcast to the last.
And we're back, and as promised, years in the making, unbeknownst to us at the time, but years in the making, here's our review for Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, we don't even have to, this is not a retro review, we don't have to go through our emotions leading up to the movie. If you've watched any of our podcasts together, you know our emotions leading up to the movie, so we can forego that part of it. As you usually do, Chris, give us a brief description of what's going on in this movie, the general gist of it.
I'm glad we could finally do that, because leading up to it, we had no idea what this thing was.
Exactly.
So the movie is about the Fox universe is crumbling, and it's crumbling due to the fact that Logan died. He was what they call an anchor being. Mm-hmm. So Deadpool is going across the multiverse, trying to find a replacement for the Logan we all know and love from the Foxverse. And that lands him with the worst Wolverine as they battle their way back to the TVA to stop what's about to happen. The crumbling of the universe.
Right. So it opens up, like, right from the get-go. That opening where he is... I mean, obviously it opens up with, it shows you what his life is. First of all, before any of that, I love the part where he actually actively goes and pitches himself for membership in the Avengers. And you see
that was so fun.
You see Happy Hogan, and he's talking about it, and he's going through the motions of, like, I need this to impress Vanessa, right? Otherwise, she's going to be done with me. And Happy's like, that's not really a good reason to want to become an Avengers. They do this because it's the right thing to do. It's about selflessness and blah, 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 blah.
Avengers adjacent.
Right, yeah, and that's what he calls himself, because he's like, I don't remember. He goes, you're not even a member of the team. He goes, what do you do for the... That's why he calls himself Avengers adjacent. But there was that one part where Deadpool was expecting to talk to Tony Stark. And he's like, that's why I'm here. He doesn't really do this anymore. He's like, what, gratuitous cameos? I just started off. And then little did we know when we were going to get the announcement that we got a couple of days later. It was kind of...
Great timing.
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
And, and this is pre-Endgame, which I think might have confused some people.
Yeah, well, it says, I think, 2018.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people missed that.
Yeah, I mean...
But yeah, it's pre-Endgame.
It helps if you when you go to a movie, pay attention to what's actually on screen. It'll help. Little things like that, they're just common sense things.
Tidbits.
So anyway, he gets kindly escorted out. They say, well, you're not ready yet. We'll keep an eye on you, but you're not ready yet. So he goes back to, at that point in time, he gives up on Deadpooling, and we catch up with him, and Vanessa's sort of left him for somebody else. he's working at a used car dealership and seemingly failing miserably at it. And then we get like the birthday party scene where everyone we've seen from the first two Deadpool movies, except for Cable,
which was suspiciously missing.
Is there? Yeah. I wonder why he didn't want to come back.
Or maybe they didn't want him back.
If it was just scheduling or what it was, but either way, he wasn't there. And then that's when the TVA sort of interrupts Deadpool, and that's where we get the whole scenario where he, from the trailer where he talks about pegging, and this is Disney's first exposure to that, which was pretty funny.
Somehow that joke hits. I've seen it 3 times, and that joke hit every time for me.
It does, because it's like, oh yeah, I am watching a Disney movie. Like you don't think about it really because you see the Marvel Studios logo, and you sort of, even though you know that Disney owns them, you sort of divorce it from, let's say, a stereotypical Disney thing. But then the more you think about it, it's like, oh, it is still Disney, right? The joke that really landed for me before the TVA stuff was when he was talking with Blind Al, and she's like, wants cocaine.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. He's like, that's the one thing Feige said we couldn't do. And so she's using different terminology, and he's like, they have a list. It doesn't matter how you phrase it, we can't, right? So I like that they worked in the one thing that they weren't, that basically Marvel did say no to.
The script. Feige's response to that joke is actually pretty funny too. Feige said something like he didn't say no coke, but Ryan Reynolds took it and ran with it. Yeah. And it's really funny. I love that joke too. I love Blind Al.
Yeah, Blind, she's great. That was really funny. So then he goes out and he gets taken by the TVA, and they explain the whole scenario of, hey, listen, we want to bring you into the sacred timeline, and you're going to join the Avengers. You could potentially join the Avengers, and that's when he gets all the screenshots of different Marvel movies.
Yeah,
and he sees Cap, and he does the whole salute, and then he sees Deadpool holding him, Thor holding him and crying, and that becomes why is he crying? Why is Thor crying? You can't see that. Yeah, you can't see that. And there's a moment where I think it works because it also shows character development. There's a moment where Deadpool runs to the camera, it's almost like a WWE moment where he grabs the camera, and he's like, "F you, Fox! I'm done with you, blah blah. I'm finally at Disney, and this and that." And he's all happy, and then he learns that, sure, you're coming over, but the people you actually care for that are still at your birthday party are going to die with the universe. Mm-hmm. And that's when Deadpool changes his tune. So I think there's an element of that whole exchange really shows character growth for the character of Wade Wilson throughout the course of the trilogy. You know what I mean?
This movie surprised me a lot with Wade Wilson because I thought he was fun in 1 and 2, but that was, it's like, okay, it's a Deadpool movie. There's not much to it. Just go in there, laugh, there's some action. This one has weight to it, and not just from Jackman's performance, but Reynolds actually brought something extra to Deadpool here. Maybe that was Sean Levy's direction. But either way, I like this Deadpool a lot.
Yeah. And that's why I'm going to mention this a couple of times throughout the review. When people say there's no, detractors of the movie say there's no character development, there's no weight. Did you watch this scene? Because sure, it was baked in humor, but then the change-up happens when he's like, I'm not letting you destroy the people I love in my world. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what's it take to save it? And he's like, well, the anchor person, which is Wolverine, is dead, so you're kind of screwed. And he's like, oh, just go get another Wolverine. And that's when we get the whole montage.
Also the grave thing, that was...
Oh, yeah, okay, so back to the grave, yeah. So first he tries and goes... The whole thing was, first he's like, I'll just go get him, because he's like, he's got regenerative healing. There's no way he's just dead. Yeah. And the only reason they're saying that is because Jackman doesn't want to do it anymore, so I'll just go get him. So he digs him out, and he realizes that he's dead.
That was such a good moment.
The whole scenario with the corpse and he's imitating Hugh Jackman's Australian accent and moving the mouth. I was dying.
What was it? A truck full of cash.
Yeah, because he's like, the part where he says, "We're not going to desecrate the memory of Logan in that great movie," but that's exactly what we're going to do. And he's
that was such a question on everybody's mind too. Like, what are they going to do with Logan? Well, they got it out of the way immediately.
Yeah, and the cool part was too that like this is the whole montage with the NSYNC song, like the fight with the NSYNC song, and I'll be honest with you, that was the best use of an NSYNC song I've ever seen.
And them intercutting with him doing the dance.
Yeah.
Somehow made it better.
And the way he was using the corpse.
Yeah.
Because it's laced with adamantium. To beat
so
the crap
smart,
out of
actually.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use my weapons.
And when he takes the adamantium closet and touches it, he's like, I'm so wet right now. Oh, good Lord.
I love how it's a funny scene, but the action is really cool in it.
Yeah, the fight scene was great. Yeah, and it was gruesome. But
when he's like bashing that guy's head in with the skull of Wolverine.
But again, it's done in a way. It's kind of like Kill Bill in the sense that it's gruesome, but you don't get grossed out by it. Like there's some gore. Like there's some gore where it's like, okay, I'm literally gonna barf if I keep watching this. Like that's not the case here. You know what I mean?
No, it's intense, but it's not it's not too much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's also very bloody, which I did not think it was going to be.
Right.
It is Disney.
Yeah, that's the shocking part of it. And so the way he just dismantles those TVA agents is hilarious. And like, think about how much, just to go back to for a second, how much impact that segment had. So quickly, within like what, a week? We're a week removed as of this recording.
Yeah.
And NSYNC has renamed the song, like their official video has the fact that from Deadpool and Wolverine.
Well,
to a song that came out in what, 99, 2000?
I want to say it was 2000. Did you see that and Like a Prayer have shot up on every chart right now?
Yeah. So it shows you the impact that the movies had already.
A rated R film. Is taking over the box office.
Insane. So after that sequence, that's when Deadpool comes up with the idea, well, I'll just go get another one. And that's where he hops universes, which it's kind of weird that his device can do that all of a sudden. I thought it was just a time travel device, but...
Well, I mean... I've seen people ask that, but if you watch Deadpool 2, it doesn't make sense there either because he does hop universes.
I mean,
I think it just never explained.
He hops to go shoot himself from preventing him from
There's that. He hops and kills himself as Deadpool from Origin. So, I mean, it's not really clear on the rules of this device. And
again, do we really care about the rules? In this particular franchise, do we care?
Bingo. I was going to say, it's Deadpool, guys.
Yeah,
He's talking to you in the camera.
Yeah, I mean, let's
NSYNC is playing.
Yeah, let's not hurt our heads with trying to ground it in reality. And
I actually have a bigger question about the movie that has nothing to do with his time watch.
So he hops to different universes and sees different Wolverines. So we get the comic accurate short version of Wolverine, which I was pissing my pants laughing, and the fact that it was Hugh Jackman,
even better.
They did the whole Chris Evans thing with when he was kind of.
They made him 5'3", I guess.
They made him 5'3", yeah, whatever it is. Then we got the '80s. I don't know what that version of Wolverine was.
Age of Apocalypse.
Is that what? Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Which one are you talking about? The one with the one hand?
The one he was wearing that '80s leather. He was up against the wall.
Yeah, that's Age of Apocalypse.
Okay, that was the Age of. that was the comic.
Yeah, he's missing a hand in the Age of Apocalypse.
Because I'm thinking of Age of Apocalypse, but when I think of Age of Apocalypse, I think I get it confused, at least movie wise, with Days of Future Past. So that's why it was.
No. They went completely accurate.
Comic,
he looked great.
He did. It's like, why did it take this long to get all these different? So we got that one. We got the Wolverine that was like ripped in half and hung up on
the cross. Yeah, the uncanny one.
Yeah, which was really cool to see. And I love the fact that the music stops, and Deadpool's just pissing his pants, laughing at him, and then leaves. He's like, all right, you're no use to me. See you later, right? And we got the Wolverine versus Incredible Hulk.
That
version.
I want to talk about that one for a second.
to where he calls out the writer and artist. He's like, this is the Claremont and Byrne version and he calls out the suit because the suit is the brown
and tan,
the brown and tan one, and he's like, oh, this is the one you fought. And then he turns around, the Hulk is there, and from the brief bit of the Hulk that we did see through the claws, it seems to be the Ruffalo one from the first Avengers era.
Yeah.
Of movies.
I love this. I think is my favorite of the montage.
Yeah.
Because I love that suit. That's my favorite Wolverine look.
Yeah.
And the way it translated so well to film, like when he comes back, put him in that.
I'm not gonna lie, I wanted that whole fight to play out.
I want to see it.
Like, can Deadpool just take a back seat for like 10 minutes and just have us watch this fight?
Yeah,
like,
I want to see it. You know, that was actually...
I want it to be Jackman at this point. Like, since we have him for a couple of movies, and make no mistake, this isn't the last time we're going to see him. I guarantee you that.
It's not.
Since we have him for at least two movies, can I see this fight? Like, I didn't even care. I didn't even care which Hulk it's with. Like, if in Secret Wars they want to bring back the Eric Bana Hulk and have him fight that one, I don't care. Just I want to watch him for 10 minutes. Him and the Hulk go at it.
I want to see that. And you know, this was a thing that was rumored for them. I was like, "There's no way they're putting the Hulk in this movie."
Yeah, they got away with saving the budget.
They did. So you know, this is my favorite, the montage piece, because I love the suit. And it's just a really cool thing. Also, I love seeing Patch.
Yeah, that was cool, and just the way he put his claws right through Deadpool's head was
cool.
Like, that was pretty cool. But you know, it's like, and the part that was even funnier was when Deadpool started recreating the Loki speech from the first Avengers movie, and the Hulk just threw him into the tree like he was.
Was that the Loki speech?
Yeah, they were calling him a dull brute or whatever.
Oh, I didn't even catch that's what it was.
He's like, I'm Marvel Jesus, you dull brute, and then the Hulk was just like.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was too into what I was watching.
Yeah, the dull brute part was from Loki.
Gotcha. I was just in amazement all three times.
And then we got the garage.
The cavalry.
The cavalry. It was pretty cool. I will say that, because that was rumored casting on the internet.
He's been fan cast as Wolverine forever.
He's been fan cast as every Marvel character.
Yes.
Since they announced he's not coming back as Superman.
Even before that.
And it's kind of getting a little ridiculous at this point. So I did like the cameo.
Mm-hmm.
He did his trademark, reloading of the arms thing.
And look cool.
Cool. Looks cool. I just want to point something out, and then we'll get back to the review. I don't personally think, because there are some people out there that think, there's no way, and you know which group I'm referring to, I won't specify my name. There's no way that Kevin Feige brought Henry Cavill in for a 10-second cameo, and he's not going to be the 616 version of Wolverine. He did the exact same thing with John Krasinski.
Oh, now that is an excellent counterpoint, sir. I did not consider that, but you are right.
Like, he plays to the fan casting. If it's doable and it doesn't necessarily intersect with what they've got going.
And
here's why I say that. Here's why I say that it's not going to be him. I have no doubt that if given the right material, could Henry Cavill play a solid version of Wolverine? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's not my issue. Here's my thought process. We have Hugh Jackman until 2027, at least, through Secret Wars, right? Hugh Jackman, correct me if I'm wrong, is, 55 right now?
Is he? I didn't know that.
I think he's around 55.
I know he's in his 50s.
So, he's between 51 to 55. Anyway.
Yeah, he's old enough.
So let's assume that he's on the higher end. Let's say he's 55. We're now in 2024. By 2027, he's going to be 58 on the high end. Cavill is currently 41.
Yeah.
By 2027, he's going to be 44. You're telling me Marvel's going to go from a 58-year-old Wolverine to a brand new fresh start X-Men universe 44-year-old Wolverine and expect, hey, you got to do this for the next 10, 12 years? I just don't see it. I personally see whoever the new Wolverine is being in the 30 to 35, latest 38-year-old range, and that's what's going to be the case. So it's more of the age thing again cropping up. And I know people are going to say, but Hugh Jackman's 55. Yes, and Robert Downey Jr.
started at 31, I think.
But there's a limit. Like, we know Hugh Jackman's not literally going to be here doing this till he's 90, like Deadpool said. Like, we literally know that's not the case.
No,
that's my logic.
The Cavill, the age is a thing, and also like I said, you made a great point with the Krasinski thing. But I think with Cavill, and just the Wolverine in general, the recast, Feige said we're not going to see a new Wolverine for a very long time.
Right.
So I don't even I love Cavill. You know that I'm a big Cavill fan.
Of course, yeah, I know you do.
And I think he would be fantastic as Wolverine. But where I'd rather have him as Scott Summers as Cyclops.
Sure, I can see that. Yeah.
And I think with that, it doesn't matter his age really, because as long as they can keep dyeing his hair black, he's good to go.
Sure, yeah, and he could probably play Cyclops for 10 years and not.
Right. Wolverine is a little different because the way he looks in this movie, he's like a roided out action figure, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't see them going with Cavill just because I think it's being generous saying he'll be 44 when they start casting the new X-Men.
That's the earliest.
Right. Yeah. He'll probably be closer to 50.
Right. Yeah.
So that's going to knock him out of the running. You may even be better off sticking him as Mr. Sinister for a one and done or something.
Yeah. I have no problem with him joining the MCU in a role. That's not my issue.
It fits.
They have to be prudent in how long do we want X actor to play X role, right?
Because they got lucky with Hugh Jackman. They got lucky with Robert Downey Jr.
They're pushing it with Mahershala Ali if they don't get this Blade-mobile.
I mean, as far as an actor who will do it for so long.
Yeah.
Like, even in a way, you could say they're pushing it with Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, these are actors.
But they're also lucky that Sam Jackson still looks. He doesn't look his age, right?
He doesn't. You can't tell the man is like 70 years old.
And for Nick Fury, does he need to look?
And that's the key thing.
30, right?
If you cast them as characters where the age isn't going to matter, cool. Someone like Wolverine who does not really age.
It's a miracle we've had Hugh Jackman this long.
And his age does show in a lot of the shots here in this movie.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about cameo. I love the cameo.
I like the cameo. It was great, but I don't think it is some wink, look who our next 616 Wolverine is, because that wasn't even the 616 universe that he was in.
Right. He is in God knows what.
There was no distinction. But it was a cool cameo.
He looked great.
So he does finally find this version of Wolverine, and we sort of get a little bit of the backstory of this is the worst Wolverine because he let the X-Men, his friends, die, and that's why the member of the TVA is like, no, I don't accept this one because you picked the worst one.
He said he wouldn't accept any Wolverine, but especially not this
one.
Yeah,
especially not this one, yeah.
Matthew McFadden's Paradox is fantastic.
And then he was great. And then he banishes them to the Void. And that's where we get, first of all, we kind of see their fight. Wolverine and Deadpool actually have a fight in the Void, which was pretty brutal. And again, because of these guys' power sets, they could just tear each other apart, and then the consequences are minimal.
They shake it off.
But it was a cool fight, and again, it didn't last over. I mean, there was a second one in a car, which was kind of cool as well, even cooler. But it didn't. It wasn't like the whole movie wasn't these two guys fighting.
Mm-hmm.
3/4 of the movie wasn't them fighting, and I think it's their buddy like action comedy kind of thing that makes this movie work. And if they were fighting 3/4 of the time, actually like physically fighting, it would detract from the movie, I think. So I thought it was just the right amount both times. They are greeted by like on their trek to find this resistance group, right? Because they learn about Cassandra Nova and the whole 9 yards. So they're on this trek to find this resistance group, and they encounter this cloaked figure who does, as Deadpool refers to it, the superhero landing. And the cloaked figure is in red, is conveniently in. There are tinges of red and blue in his ragtag out, covering that he's wearing. And then off comes the hood, and you kind of like Vince McMahon. It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
That's what I thought of too.
Yeah, and it's Chris Evans, but not as Captain America.
But they don't say that at first.
Yeah, they don't say that, but what we find out is he's actually Johnny Storm, and there's the whole bit of where they get intercepted by Pyro and a bunch of Cassandra Nova's agents, if you will. And, Johnny Storm steps in front of him, and he's about to say his iconic line, which Deadpool's like, oh my God, he's going to say it. And Hugh Jackman's up with this, is like, say what? And as Deadpool's saying, halfway through saying, Avengers Assemble, you actually hear Chris Evans say, flame on. And Deadpool's reaction is like, I'm sorry, what? And then we actually get him flaming on. I thought that was pretty cool.
What was your thought process with that one? Because for me, like when he takes off, like, it's Cap. Cap is here. And then when he starts speaking, like, wait, Cap doesn't speak like that.
The only reason I kind of knew it, I kind of thought it was Johnny Storm was because of the way he looked. He wasn't blonde. He was like,
Yeah, I know. So it's like, why isn't Cap blonde anymore?
I don't think this is Cap. I mean, I know. I think it's Johnny. And so I kind of had an inkling that it was Johnny all along. But by the same token, I'm like, maybe because it's a variant, he didn't have to be blonde, and so it won't matter. So there was still that kind of, well, is it Cap or is it Johnny? And then he said flame on, and then as he started to flame on, you actually see the 4 on his chest. I'm like, all right. It's Johnny. But I thought, like, just having him back was, the fact that he came back to do that.
Oh, yeah, it was cool.
Was really cool of him, I think.
I love seeing him.
I also noticed, being Canadian and from Toronto, the CN Tower is in shambles in the void. Like, it's broken. It's.
Oh, there was a lot of interesting things.
What the hell happened in Toronto? The CN Tower is. I mean, did the Leafs win the cup in this timeline, and the city went so crazy that the CN Tower has been decimated?
You never know. There's a lot of cool stuff, like the shield. What was that thing called? That giant airship they had.
The helicarrier?
Yeah, the helicarrier. There was one of those. Yeah. Red Skull's car was there.
Yeah.
There was a random Thor helmet.
Wait a minute, though. Did you notice the car didn't have the Red Skull symbol? It had the Iron Man symbol on it.
Oh, no, I didn't notice that part.
Yeah.
They also had the Fantastic Four car that was not used in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had some cool stuff.
So
like the third time I was watching, I was trying to look around like, hey, what else did I miss?
They're already setting up. There's an inkling of an Iron Man gone wrong already with that.
There's Secret Wars Easter eggs here. There's the comic.
Yeah.
There's the why is Thor crying?
But I think, like, if you think about it, having that car, if you go back and when you watch it on Blu-ray the next time or whatever, because I'll be shocked if you go back. I wouldn't be shocked, but it'd be interesting to see if you go back a fourth time. But having the Iron Man, symbol, like the head logo, on Red Skull's car is kind of interesting. So it kind of sets that, hey, not every Tony Stark is a good guy, right? So
I mean, Tony Stark isn't even that good if you think like.
but he is. When push comes to shove, he does the right thing.
Right. When it comes down to it, he's there.
Yeah.
But we've all seen Iron Man 1.
Right. And then, so then they finally, meet Cassandra Nova, and I like when she's coming out of
Ant-Man's mouth.
Yeah, whatever that location is. I love when Deadpool's like, "Oh, Paul Rudd finally started to age."
Yeah, that's funny.
But the way they filmed her coming out, it's like from behind, so you can't tell if it's a man or a woman.
You think it's Charles?
And the two of them are both like, "Charles." That was pretty funny. And then we get some of her backstory, that she's Charles's twin, and in her universe, she killed him right out of the womb.
Yeah, something like that. She tried to. She surprised the hell out of me in this movie.
Yeah, she was good. I really liked her.
I did not expect to like her. I was like, why are they finding Cassandra Nova?
Being the villain, I thought she did a really good job.
Yeah, she's really, really good.
And I love how Deadpool kind of throws Johnny Storm under the bus.
Yeah.
Saying, he was saying all this derogatory stuff about you, this, and this. And it is funny because Chris Evans is also Captain America, you don't expect that.
That's such a thing with this movie. Because, when I see Chris Evans, automatically, Cap is there. In anything, it's Cap.
And she skins him alive as a result of what Deadpool is saying. And a lot of people took issue of, look what they did to Johnny Storm. And first they took away, his fire was absorbed, his fire power was absorbed. And then they skinned him alive. And, a lot of Fantastic Four fans, apparently they've now come out of the woodwork.
Really?
Some of them are complaining about that depiction and how it throws shade at the Fantastic Four. It's like,
he's in the void.
Are we going to complain about everything? Really?
I want to know, realistically, where have you guys been?
Where were you people when both Fantastic Four movies came out?
Where have you guys been? Cause I don't love those movies, but they're.
I like the Fantastic Four, but I'm not getting my underwear tied in knots over what happened to Johnny Storm. It's a multiverse.
Yeah, it's not even. I don't think it's even that Johnny.
If they do it to him in his own movie, then
right.
Then he becomes the Brooklyn Brawler. But until then, we'll just wait and see.
Or Brooklyn Brawler.
But so their first meeting with Cassandra doesn't go well, and they take the brunt of it. But they're on the track of finding the rest of this resistance. Along the way, they meet the pretty boy Deadpool with the dog, and that's how we get
nice
Dog Pool. Yeah, nice pool. That's pretty funny because it's like Bizarro Deadpool in the sense that Ryan Reynolds is being polite.
Is that a version from the comics?
I believe so.
Okay.
And he's so polite and he's not swearing and it's so it really is Bizarro Deadpool. If you think about it.
I like his costume too, the way it's plated.
Yeah, and it's like how in superhero movies they say there's different versions of the costume made, and there's the hero costume for all the shots that are
and then the stunt costume.
That's what kind of that version of Deadpool's costume you'd think would be. It'd be like the hero. It
reminded me of the movie Power Rangers suit from the first movie.
Yeah,
remember how they went from spandex to
those suits were so good.
They are. That's what it reminds me of.
Jeez, side note, whoever's got the rights to the Power Rangers next, can we make more of that? There's more to be had there, damn it. I digress. That's another rant for another podcast.
You need Eddie on that one.
Yeah, Eddie will agree with me there. But yeah, I get what you're saying. The comparison's actually really good. So they meet up with Deadpool, and so then they have that fight in the car.
Oh man!
And again, where people say, there's no emotion in this movie. How did you watch this scene and not get character growth and emotion?
I get, I can see it. Someone who just, if you don't like the movie, you don't like the movie, and that's fine. I think it just works for us. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
And plus, it's something we wanted to see. So, like when Wolverine goes off on him, I wanted to see that because to me, that is Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine is,
and he's also releasing. He's also releasing his frustration of.
Right.
I have what the things I've done. You're essentially turning into a joke.
And there's that one line that I love. It's something about "you're the worst thing I've ever met" or something like that. Yeah. And that's pretty bad because I've been alive for 200 years. Yeah.
And whoa! Really, when you think about it, like the whole reason he hooked this Wolverine into this journey is because I can get the TVA to undo.
There's an educated wish.
And so he has his own motivations for doing it, and to him, every time Deadpool speaks, it's making a mockery of trying to fix his mistakes.
Yeah.
But then in that same scene, in the midst of that fight, we learn that Deadpool's fighting for his people too. It's instead of it being his universe is those 5 people. Like to him, it's those 5 or 6 people, and that's when he's able to open up and really hit that home after Wolverine calls him out. So again, you may not. There may be people out there that don't like the movie, but to say it's devoid of emotion, like I've seen in some Variety articles and other people online, I think that's just plain wrong.
There have been some interesting reactions to this movie, if we're being honest. I know that I come at it from a biased standpoint. Maybe you do too.
Yeah. It's almost like people wanted this to fail.
That's what I was going to say. It seems like a lot of people approach this with the idea, I don't want to like this. This looks terrible. It's going to be terrible. And if that's the way you look at things, don't watch it.
You know what it was. I suspect there's a lot of people that wanted this movie's failure to confirm. Look, see, superhero fatigue. See,
yes.
Superhero.
Not even like an MCU attack, just superheroes in general.
And when it did the reverse and proved otherwise, now they're mad. And that's kind of some of the sense that I get.
There are people upset that it's doing well too. I don't understand fans or I just don't get it sometimes.
I'm so glad that it's doing well because I love the characters. I love the genre more importantly. So
yeah, what's good for one is good for them all.
If this does well, hey, you know what? People are going to want to. I want to go have another good time. Let me go see that new Superman.
Right. Let me go see this Captain America, the Superman. Yeah, oh, there's what's a Creature Commando? I guess I can watch that.
Yeah. So that be it MCU, DCU, or both in our case, this is a good thing. And I hate to break it to those anti-superhero movie people. The reason the box office is excelling right now is because of a superhero movie. Mm-hmm. Look, granted, Twisters did okay. There's some movies that did okay. But let's be honest. If the movie reports record growth at the end of the year, it's going to be because of this movie and Joker 2. If Joker 2 does as well as a lot of people think it's going to do. Those are going to be the two driving forces. And again, they're comic book movies. So complain all you want, but it is what it is.
Yeah, at the end of the year, I think you're exactly right. The top 3 movies of the year will be Inside Out 2, and this, and probably Joker 2. That's what we're looking at, the top 3 more in January.
Yeah. So there you go. But so
anyway, sorry.
Yeah, sorry for that off tangent. But when there's emotion, I want to call it out because some people are saying it doesn't exist in this movie, and I think it's BS. So they have the car fight and they're spent, and then we see they get picked up. We only see the boots of the person by somebody. So they're taken to this location, and they meet the resistance, and that resistance is comprised of, and I have to get ready, Jennifer Garner's Elektra on the list. You knew that was coming, and everybody did. If you didn't, shame on you. We've got Blade, played by Wesley Snipes. Not Mahershala Ali, I just want to clarify. There's only one Blade, there only ever will be. And I kind of believe that. So Blade, there's Channing Tatum as Gambit, and Laura X-23 from Logan. These cameos were so well done. And like, I felt so good for all of the people involved, really, but especially Channing Tatum, just for the sake of having now played Gambit and finally gotten the chance. It's kind of like the Nicolas Cage Superman cameo. It's the same, in the sense that I liked what Channing Tatum did as Gambit here. I like the voice. I like everything he did there. That doesn't necessarily mean that I want them to greenlight a Gambit movie with Channing Tatum now.
Oh, really? Because I'm on the other side of that.
I wouldn't be what you want.
So I remember when Channing Tatum was announced as Gambit years ago, I was like, Channing Tatum? Why do we even need a Gambit movie? But after seeing this, put him in the actual X-Men movie.
No, I'm not opposed to. Let me rephrase. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't like if they cast somebody else as Gambit in the X-Men movie. I'm not going to be torn that it's not.
No, I get you. I actively want him now, though.
Yeah, like I could definitely see if he does it, if he's back, great.
Yeah, I want it. I think he was really good.
But it has that same similarity to the Nicolas Cage thing. Where,
sort of, yeah. I mean, they let him put on the suit. He did the thing.
Yeah, it's nice that he got to do it. You know what I mean? If it's just a one-off, so be it.
Right,
and also,
he got to do it.
Again, I think that I liked seeing Jennifer Garner as Elektra again because I personally like that Daredevil movie, especially the director's cut.
Me too.
But I like that it got me into Daredevil comics. So anybody that says, "How do you like that movie?" I don't care whether you like that I like that movie or not. I do. And
I love that movie.
I don't care that Rotten Tomatoes tells me it's not good. I don't care. Like on every conceivable level, you can tell me you don't like it. You can tell me reasons why you don't like it, and I respect everybody's reasons why they don't like it. I just don't care.
It's like Tommy Lee Jones in The Fugitive. I don't care.
Yeah, it's like that guy. What's his name? The sports guy, Smith there, basketball guy.
Oh, is it Steven Smith?
Steven Smith. Yeah, I don't care. You know, you tell me you don't like it. I don't care. Not gonna lie, I would have liked to see Affleck cameo as Daredevil. I was hoping he'd be like in a cage in. And I'm kind of like, come on, man! You came back as Batman an extra time. You couldn't do it for Daredevil.
I guess Daredevil's more embarrassing for him.
And your ex-wife is right, like. And
that also could be why.
She may end up being you may end up going back by all rumors. He may be on the outs with Jennifer Lopez, so you may redo the whole.
Switch gens.
Jennifer Garner thing again. Who knows? But it's poor Affleck. The saga of his I'm in, I'm out seems to be happening with.
Well, now he's Hulk Hogan. I don't know if you saw that today.
Listen, he would be better off playing Daredevil again than he would Hulk Hogan, and I may be saying that for a specific reason regarding Hulk Hogan, but I digress. I'll leave that off of this podcast.
Anyway.
But so I was happy to see everybody involved.
Yeah.
Like in that Resistance group come back. Again, those movies, those Fox and New Line in the case of Blade, those movies have such a soft spot in my heart. Like that era, got me excited for superhero movies again after Batman and Robin. So I have a soft spot for them, right? So it was nice to see those guys back.
I actually wouldn't. I've seen a lot of people say cameos. I don't consider them cameos.
No, because they were more part of the story.
To me, the cameos were like seeing Lady Deathstrike in the background, or the Russian, who a lot of people don't even know that's the Russian.
Yeah, and he also too, even like the Deadpool.
Oh yeah, the Deadpool Corps. Those are cameos.
Cause
this is more like No Way Home, where you had Toby and Andrew there as parts of the movie.
Yeah, and I was so happy to see another person. I was so happy to see was Wesley Snipes' Blade, not just because I love Blade, but also just because to put the rest of the whole feud or supposed feud.
I like that they made a joke about that too.
Right?
You never did.
Like I like the fact that these two guys who may or may not have liked each other at one time were able to accept a phone call one from the other to reprise this role.
Mm-hmm.
And if they put a supposed beef behind them, all the better for it. We're better for it. They're better for it. So.
Snipes was the biggest surprise to me as far as like the cast goes.
Yeah.
Him, I did not expect at all.
And I loved the whole. I'm the only Blade. There's only ever been one Blade, and there only ever will be one Blade.
That was so
how
cool.
Marvel allowed that, I'll never know.
I don't know how they allowed that at all because they are gearing up to make this other movie. How did you guys allow that?
I know they've been making fun of themselves the whole time, but this is a whole new level of making fun of yourself because the inability to make a Blade movie for this at this point, since you've had the guy sitting there since 2018 or whatever it's been.
Yeah.
It's borderline laughable at this point.
It's not just the line, but then the look Deadpool gives the camera, like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and also the other thing too was, where'd you get that bazooka? And he's like, oh, it was the Punishers. And I think it was Blade. It's like, which one?
No, it's Deadpool. Which one?
Oh, well, yeah, sorry, it was Deadpool.
Yeah,
which one?
If I had to guess, it's a Thomas Jane one, but
probably. But and again, so we meet these guys and they gear up for battle, and there's the scene before they take off to go attack Cassandra Nova again, where Laura, meets up with Wolverine. He knows who she is, like Deadpool warned him about.
Yeah, he's aware of her.
So he's aware of her, and he basically says, "Look, if you're looking for," he doesn't say it exactly, but I'm not your dad. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
Right. And she says to him, "You never were. Like he wasn't that guy until he had to be."
Mm-hmm.
And then like again, and I know I'm harping on this, but it bothers me when I see people say there was no emotional like gravitas in this movie. I'm like, what movie did you watch?
Yeah, to me, it's just puzzling.
That scene got me emotional when he's talking to her. I know it's a different Wolverine, but it's still him and his daughter, or a version of his daughter. And I don't understand how. Invested. Yeah, I don't understand how you can't get emotional at that. And I'm so glad they brought her back because the minute that Logan ended, I wanted her in an X-Men movie. Yes. And I still do.
We'll talk about it, but that's one thing I love about the ending. But this particular scene, though, I have a question because I've seen it, and I guess something's not working for me. What did he do so bad? It kind of just seemed like regular Wolverine behavior.
I'm questioning if he. So you know how Old Man Logan, where he was tricked into seeing the Sinister Six, but he was actually killing X-Men. Like he was Mysterio, right? What was it? That sort of a scenario where he did that?
Well, no. I mean, they clarify later on he just went on a killing spree. But I mean, how does that make him I guess what I'm saying is, how does it make him the worst Wolverine?
I guess because he wasn't there when his friends needed him. Like he was off doing his own.
Well, that's a lot of pressure on one dude. Because I would say, like, the Age of Apocalypse Wolverine would.
I guess the thing. I guess what they're trying to set up is, you were off doing your own personal killing spree when your team was getting killed.
When they needed you, yeah.
Like your lack of wanting to be there. Because remember, he clarifies that.
I love the explanation.
The reason he wears the suit is to show that he wants to be there without specifically saying, I want to be here.
Yeah.
So your lack of wanting to be there or having to be there is what got your teammates killed. Again, a lot of pressure on one guy because...
Yeah, that's what I couldn't feel like. Is that... I didn't know if I was missing something or if it is just...
I would have much rather them, had they transposed the Old Man Logan scenario onto this Wolverine, I think it would have been better in setting up that you're a failure. Like you technically killed your own team. Like that
Maybe.
works more than you were just off on a solo mission.
You were just doing Wolverine shit.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
Donnie.
Yeah. No, that shit's alright. We can.
Okay. Yeah, you were just doing.
This isn't
Wolverine.
work for kids. Deal with it, YouTube.
You were doing Wolverine stuff, and it got people killed.
Yeah.
I just didn't understand why that made him the worst Wolverine. I guess.
So I did like that moment with Laura. I thought it was great.
Love seeing Laura.
Yeah. And then, so they meet up with Cassandra Nova. They go through the whole motions. She agrees to help them get to their own timeline. As there's a big fight between the other members of the Resistance and Cassandra Nova's
Which was
people.
amazing. Like seeing Channing Tatum as Gambit fighting.
Presumably none of those people died, right?
Elias, I think, was supposed to eat them, but we know that's not the case when we get to the ending.
Yeah, so I'm assuming it keeps them open game for Secret Wars. Because I'm assuming whoever we saw here is probably going to return, at least most of them will return for...
I'm just expecting 2 of them to return.
Blade.
No, I'm thinking just Laura and Gambit return.
Okay.
That's my guess. Because they're going to have Blade out by then, the new one.
Will they know?
Well...
I'm going to do the gift, the Thor gift. Will they know?
I hope so. And I think that Elektra was a one-time.
Believe me, I want it. I want that Blade movie. Like I'm knocking it because it's ridiculous that it's taking this long.
Yeah.
Kevin, with all your hats, my brother in Christ.
He even has a Blade hat.
It's a vampire movie. It's a half vampire, hunting down other vampires. It's not that hard.
It is not rocket science.
But okay, let's assume. Yeah, listen. You're probably right. Elektra probably was a cameo. Not a cameo, but a one-off. But listen, if they want to bring her back, and if they can somehow convince Affleck to come with her.
Oh, yeah.
In Secret Wars, I know he's supposed to be dead, but really, does anybody...
Well, a version of him is dead.
Right, yeah. But listen, logic, we're talking about Secret Wars here.
Yeah.
And the multiverse. Can we throw logic out the window and just let it be? Let be what's going to be. And so, if they want to bring him and her back, I'm for it.
If they could tell a good story like this, I'm all for it.
Right, exactly. So, that fight was great. I loved... Gambit was kicking ass.
That was cool.
Laura was kicking ass. Wesley Snipes always kicks ass.
Yeah.
So anyway, they get back to their home world, right? Wolverine and or not their, but Deadpool's universe.
Yeah, Deadpool, Earth 1005.
The Foxverse. And I really don't know why it's called 1005, but whatever.
I don't either. I thought that was a comic reference I didn't get.
Like 2000 would have been made more sense.
Oh yeah, Earth 2000. That would have made more sense.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. But what do I know? So then they're intercepted by the Deadpool Corps, which that is a cameo fest.
That's a cameo, yeah.
If you and again, so we have Lady Deadpool is played by Blake Lively, who gets a.
And that's confirmed, right? It's Blake.
Yeah, it's confirmed.
Okay.
Really, as I said to you off air in a private message, Ryan Reynolds won because he got to play Green Lantern. He met Blake Lively, and now he gets to be Deadpool.
It's a win.
Blake Lively. I mean, he won. He can deride Green Lantern all he wants, but he won.
Yeah, he won
on that movie. So we get her as Lady Deadpool.
Matthew McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey was
Cowboy Pool, I think is the name.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this, but Ryan Reynolds' daughter with Blake Lively was Kid Pool.
Yes. Which has one of the best lines of the movie. Nathan Fillion is also one of them. I don't know which one. I think he's the Flying Head.
The head.
Okay.
So this guy has gone from Guardians of the Galaxy to Deadpool to now Green Lantern. It's crazy how many.
And he's gonna be in Superman.
Yeah, as Green Lantern. Yeah, so he's.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it's the Green Lantern Corps meeting up in a Deadpool movie because you got Hal and Guy, but it's kind of sort of. But I digress. You know what would be funny? Side note, before I talk about how Deadpool Wolverine just demolished the
decimated
Deadpool Corps. James Gunn, it won't happen, but James Gunn has a chance to do the thing, which would be really funny, because Hal Jordan's supposed to be in his mid to late 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Reynolds is in his mid to late 40s. Just going to leave that there. Stranger things, it won't happen, but stranger things have happened.
They have indeed. We have Hugh Jackman back. No. We had Wesley Snipes back.
Yeah. Brought back by Ryan Reynolds.
Right. Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. If I got that announcement, a couple months from now, that would be pretty hilarious. Mm-hmm. And I would welcome it. And
I'm okay with it.
But so that whole scene where
it was one take, which I didn't realize.
Right, yeah. So it's basically like the hallway Daredevil scene.
Yep.
Kind of aspect of it, which is cool. And to the point where this is the moment where Wolverine flips on the mask.
Yes.
We got it a lot longer than I think you anticipated.
Yeah, no, I really thought it was going to be for like a 5-minute thing. And he would take it off immediately. I didn't expect it to be part of the finale.
And that run through where they decimate the entire Deadpool Corps. Talk about bloody. That was a mess.
It's exactly what I wanted.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not deriding it. It was a mess.
Exactly what I wanted, and it's actually kind of funny though. It's hard to keep track of Deadpool, so you just kind of watch the yellow guy.
It's like it was like Undertaker versus Undertaker on steroids.
Yeah, but you just watch the yellow guy. It's easier to follow.
Yeah, just watch Wolverine.
Yeah, watch Wolverine. He's great. And also, I can't take my eyes off the mask.
You know what? Okay, so let me ask you this. Was that a practical thing or was that CGI, do you think?
The mask? I think it was practical. But the eyes...
The eyes were CGI, but...
I actually didn't love the mask, and I know it's crazy.
Like, I like the mask, but the eyes...
The eyes messed it up, yeah. In some scenes.
So this is a cautionary tale. That the mask was cool, but I think when people say Batman doesn't need the white eyes, I think they're correct.
This really sold me. Do not put the white eyes on Batman. But I will also say this. If his eyes were animated the way Deadpool's were, because Wolverine's eyes are animated, but not nearly as much, I think if they would have done more of the animation, it would have looked better.
Yeah.
Because the scene...
I agree with that.
The scene before they go through the door and he's just talking, the eyes are very weird looking.
I agree with that, actually.
And again, I love that it came from the back of the suit, like in the comics and the cartoons.
Yeah. So, and by the way, they also do reference Batman. They're like, he's got the mask. It's like Batman, but he can turn his head.
And the mask really does look good. Weird eyes and some bits aside, the mask looks great.
It does, I agree. And also, I will say, I don't want to never see Batman with the eyes. My thing is, just make them have a purpose other than just being part of the thing. Like, if it's used like it was in Forever and The Dark Knight, then by all means.
Well, I think
it's a temporary thing, right?
If you make them transparent in a way, kind of like the Arkham Batman,
like a temporary device. If he can use them for.
Well, no, I'm okay if they leave them on the whole time, but as long as they're transparent or something.
But
you got to see the eyes.
Yeah, absolutely, I agreed. So then we get to the final sort of soiree where Cassandra Nova comes back, and she is hell-bent on speeding up the process of destroying the universe. Like
she wants to play God.
Yeah. And basically Wolverine decided, look, I'll go stop her. No matter what happens to me.
I got nothing.
You'll be here. And so they argue about that. And he's like, you have the 5 people. You have at least 5 people. I have nobody. And then turns out that Deadpool tries to pull the switcheroo. They end up sort of doing it together, which is kind of a commentary on, the friendship that evolved throughout the course of the movie, which I really liked.
There's like a respect there toward the end.
And it kind of had the Guardians of the Galaxy 1 vibe where like him and Wolverine were arm in arm, kind of like the Guardians were all like in a circle.
Oh, yeah. I think about that.
It had that kind of vibe to it. And holy shit, did Hugh Jack and again Donnie deal with the somewhat preferring language. It's fine. This is a review of Deadpool Wolverine. It should be expected. But holy shit, his abs are disgustingly defined for a 50-plus-year-old man. Like, Jesus.
You know what I was thinking? I was like, you didn't need to do this, but you did it anyway.
Like, I'm disgusted by comparison. I'm disgustingly out of shape. Like, looking at it, it's really the inadequacy level feels that you get watching Hugh Jackman in that scene.
It's nuts that he got that big again, and for that one scene too, because that's the only time he's shirtless.
Yeah. So they do end up saving the Deadpool's homeworld. So
it's such a cool scene. That song, the version of that, the song kicks on of like a prayer, and then you have those scenes that are played over it.
Yeah,
really, really good stuff.
And again, hits the emotional chord.
And I like that it wasn't like, because when you first see them against Cassandra and everything, how are they even going to fight her? How is this going to work? Yeah. She, and then when you see, it's not a fight against her, it's their friendship, which this is going to sound like a Disney movie. Their friendship fixes the conflict.
Yeah, and you know what the cool part about it is we already got all the fights, so we're not longing for. Oh my God! I wish they punched something in this.
I didn't need them to punch Cassandra Nova in the face. I didn't want them to.
Like maybe Professor X, if that ever arose.
Let them fight.
Yeah, but it'd be a lot of this. But I digress.
A lot of hands in the face.
Yeah. And the mandible claw through their actual eye sockets. But I digress. But I like the way like you said, their emotional friendship saved the universe. Which is very on brand for Disney. So they went off brand and then circled back and got it back on brand.
It's kind of like Ryan Reynolds says in the first one. The first one's a love story. The second one is a story about family, and this one's a story about friendship.
Yeah, which is cool. And then so it ends with Logan is remaining on this universe. I love the shawarma bit where he's like, "You want to go for shawarma?" I was like, "I could eat." And
the Avengers invented shawarma.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then he goes back home and he brings Logan with him, and it's like this whole family dinner type of deal. And Logan is there, and the dog pool is there. Laura is present and there, and I really like the fact that I kind of knew Logan was going to stay put because, again, whoever actually believed that this was a one and done, I've got a bridge to sell you.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I thought it was a one and done before we knew like Secret Wars was going to be a thing.
Yeah, once they announced Secret Wars.
Yeah, once we knew like what else was coming down the pipeline.
If you still thought it was a one and done after Secret Wars, again, I got a bridge to sell you. And what confirmed it was Kevin Feige saying, we're not recasting Wolverine for a while yet. It's like, okay, so Hugh Jackman is staying.
Yeah, Jackman is sticking around.
Don't be shocked if they greenlight a Hulk versus Wolverine movie. That's how we get a Hulk movie in the MCU. Yeah. I'll take it. But so I love that ending because you're saying like you're saying it's about friendship. It's about kind of found family, that kind of thing. Found family, that kind of aspect of it that I liked. And going back to what I was like, you're hoping for a Gambit movie or Gambit in the X-Men.
Yeah,
I'm hoping Laura finds her way onto an X-Men team.
Yeah, that is one of the things I like the most about this ending. Laura is alive. She's, I think,
maybe that's adult. Maybe that's the way you can kind of like prolong the Wolverine recast for a bit.
Yeah, I'd be okay with Laura taking the cowl. That's cool with me. And again, I think she's an adult in this, so you could do a lot.
Well, she's 17, so yeah.
Okay, close enough. I mean,
actress is 17. I don't know how old she's supposed to be.
Well, by the time they start filming whatever's next, she'd be 18.
She'll probably be drinking age by then.
So, I mean, they already let her murder and stuff anyway, but now you could You could show more
she'll
of
be
it.
drinking age by the time Blade comes out, so we're good.
Yeah.
We're all good there. But
You could see a grumpy, murdery Laura. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man. Overall I love this movie. I went in expecting to just have a blast and just be overjoyed at seeing Hugh Jackman again. And if that's all, like, if it was all surface level stuff and just show me Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds slicing stuff up as Deadpool and Wolverine, if that's all it was, I would have been okay with that. But the fact that it was more than that and it went deeper, it was the most fun I've had at a theater in quite some time. It's my favorite of the multiverse movies. I'll say that right now. And one of the multiverse movies had Michael Keaton in it. So for me to say this is my favorite, it's saying a lot.
I think this did the multiverse correctly.
Yeah.
I enjoy the Flash, you know that. Yeah. But this took it to a different level, and I think it made it make sense.
And when both your leads are likable, it helps.
That helps too. You know, this movie has a lot going for it as far as like my own opinion, but I also like my expectations for it were kind of like yours. I didn't really expect much.
Yeah.
I just wanted some cool Wolverine action. Let me see Hugh in the costume, and I'm basically happy.
I didn't expect to, again, feel certain emotions that I did.
Yeah, I didn't expect to like Deadpool as much as I did. Like I'm buying the Deadpool figure.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it.
Yeah, because you from what I understand, you liked the Deadpool movies, but you were mainly here for Wolverine.
Yeah, I think most of us were. Like, I didn't care. Like, to me, this is Wolverine and Deadpool.
Like, don't get me wrong. I would have gone to see a Deadpool 3 if it had just been...
yeah, absolutely.
But the fact that it's and Wolverine...
The Return of the King.
Yeah, as you said.
And the King has returned.
Yeah, and again, it's... But again, to me, like I said, I said this on in a Twitter post, so I have no problem reiterating it. This movie was the first time that I, being in a superhero movie, felt the loss of my friend that I lost 2 years ago. Who we would always. I had two traditions when I go see superhero movies. So first would have been with my friend Dave. We'd typically go opening night, and then a couple of days later, I'd go with my mom to kind of. Except this time around, I buy her the ticket as opposed to when she first took me to see Batman, where she bought the ticket. So it's keeping the tradition of doing the thing that made me a superhero fan with her, even still to this day. So I would see most superhero movies twice, unless they were. I mean, it would have to be utter garbage for me not to see it. Basically, Catwoman. But so I would see movies twice. So this movie this movie holds more weight for two reasons. Watching the development of the friendship between Deadpool and Wolverine made me think of my friend Dave, but also Elektra showing up and Daredevil being the first superhero movie that he and I had watched together really hit me. So that's why I've been harping on and hitting back at the people that say this movie has no emotion. It's just cameo fest and superheroes fighting, supervillains. Mm-hmm. That's why I take so much offense to it, is because it hit me in ways that, for the first time in 2 years, no other superhero movies hit me because of that fact. So I got a lot more out of this movie than just, hey, Wolverine and Deadpool are together and they're slicing and dicing. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely love this movie. I think it has amazing rewatchability. I haven't gotten a chance to go back. I will, but I haven't yet, just because things have happened this past week, that I haven't gotten a chance. But I definitely plan to, and you can bet that when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm gonna be rewatching it. And like I said, I don't buy a lot of Blu-rays anymore. Mm-hmm. This is one I'm adding to the collection, to the physical collection. That's how good I think it is. So. I guess with that, unless there's anything else, we can go ahead and give our letter grade. So, Chris, what do you think?
I love this movie. It's A+ for me.
Yeah, for me too. It's like I really have nothing overtly negative to say about it. Other than there was that bit of confusion about why Wolverine was the worst one ever.
Yeah, that's the only thing, but it's a nitpick, I think.
I'm not taking off a point for that.
No, because I get it. He was, for what that universe was, I guess he was just horrible. I get it.
Yeah, and look, again, it's. I don't think it fixes. Like I've seen a lot of people on the other side saying, "Marvel's so back," and I'm like, okay, let's. To be fair,
doesn't feel like MCU movie.
Yeah, right. No, but let's be fair. You, me, everybody, I think, knew ahead of time that this was going to do well because of the Hugh Jackman factor.
Mm-hmm.
How well? I don't think we could have predicted that it's going to hit $1 billion.
No, I did not.
Right. So it's doing better than I think even we hoped for. But this was kind of bulletproof in the sense that it was at the very least going to equal worldwide what the other two Deadpool movies did.
At the very least, yes.
So that was secure. I don't think we can confidently say the MCU is cured and is back. Now, they have goodwill with most of the general audience. It's up to Captain America, Brave New World being good and maintaining the audience. It's up to Thunderbolts being good and maintaining the audience. And it's up to Fantastic Four being good and maintaining the audience. And I know some people are like, well, who cares about Thunderbolts? Well, Thunderbolts are in the next two Avengers movies, so they matter. Mm-hmm. So these next three movies matter. So
we're not talking the Eternals here.
We can't pick and choose which ones need to be good, which ones need to do well. I think I need to see some more box office and critical success for the next three movies before I start proclaiming Marvel's back 100%. No, let's take the win. Let's hope they build on it. Let's hope they've learned, right? And they've done their due diligence to make the other three movies good and warn people going to the theater. But it's nothing is a slam dunk just yet. What I will say,
set in stone yet.
What I will say is this: I think this dispels the idea of superhero fatigue, because if people were done with superheroes, it wouldn't matter that Hugh Jackman's coming back. If people really wanted nothing to do with this genre, as some outlets claim, that wouldn't help it.
I don't know. I think that I do believe superhero fatigue is a thing, but I also think
I don't think it's I don't think it's as pronounced as some outlets would have you believe it is. Like, I think it's more quality of movie than it is genre.
Yeah, because I think when a good movie comes out with a character they recognize, they will go. Like Blue Beetle is characters. Yeah, right? Blue Beetle is a cool movie and all, but nobody knows who Blue Beetle is. Nobody saw it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who Deadpool and Wolverine are. Everybody's seen this.
Yeah, people are telling you these are the superhero characters we want to see.
Superman is going to be huge next year. Captain America will probably.
We need it to be huge. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The only question mark I have of the next three Marvels that I think has an uphill battle is Thunderbolts, because I mean, okay, people know those characters because they've seen them in other movies, but by the same token, none of those maybe with the exception of Bucky, none of those characters have lit the world on fire.
You know what's interesting about Thunderbolts, though? I think if Thunderbolts would have been released, let's say, before Endgame, I'm not saying like leading up to it, but like just before Endgame in general, would have did amazing. Yeah. Because the Marvel brand was so strong.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Now they actually have to sell people to see this movie.
So again, it's the only one that I really have a question mark of. That might suffer. It has the chance of suffering. A similar way that Blue Beetle did, and
Black Adam,
Shazam 2, Black Adam, and things of that nature. But Fantastic Four. I mean, even that as a brand, their own the brand of Fantastic Four, I think has an uphill battle to climb.
I mean, they got Pedro Pascal.
That's the equalizing factor. Is
Pedro Pascal.
Actually have somebody that people genuinely like. Whereas, who the hell knew who Johan Gruffin was, right? Even Chris Evans at the time was
At
like,
the time, he was just another teen movie guy.
yeah, and so I mean, Jessica Alba was the biggest name in that movie.
If I'm not mistaken, she got first billing in that movie.
And she was known for what? Dark Angel, not Blue Angel.
Was it? I didn't even.
Yeah,
I actually wasn't really aware of her at the time. Even when I saw it, I was like, I don't really know.
Right. So Pedro Pascal is the biggest name associated.
Oh, but and the guy from the what is it called, the Bear?
Yeah.
I was called the brother.
But I think it's the Bear. Yeah. But that brand still has a little bit of stigma associated with it.
It does.
From the other two movies. Same with Superman. Superman has an uphill battle to climb because of it. We haven't had a objectively, crowd-pleasing Superman film since 1980 across the board. So it has an uphill battle to climb. The factor that Superman has, much like Fantastic Four has Pedro, Superman has directed, written, and produced by James Gunn. So, so they each have. But I think, Captain America will do well.
Yeah.
By virtue of the name brand and Harrison Ford as Red Hulk, that is going to intrigue people. The sight of that will intrigue people. Yep. So I think Deadpool is an A+, Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it's a win for Marvel. Take the win and do everything you can to build on that. Build on that success. That's the key. Enjoy it, but also build on it. Don't rest on your laurels and say, well, hey, the next 3 movies can tank because we're going to make $1 billion off this. You still want to put your best foot forward as best you can. But so this is a great offering. I think, like you said, you've watched it 3 times already. I'm going to watch it more often.
Full theater, all 3 times.
And the reason this is going to hit $1 billion, not the only reason, part of the reason is the rewatchability. So I think that is, when you're making these movies, it's very important to have that rewatchability. They have to have that. If they lack that, you're not going to hit. The reason why these kind of movies have the potential to hit $1 billion is, first of all, dependent on character you're using. If it's a known commodity, that's why something like Joker hits $1 billion.
That's exactly why I did.
Right? And then rewatchability, because I can't say Joker has immense rewatchability.
No, that's just lightning in a bottle that worked.
But if you have both of those factors, a character or characters that people love and gravitate towards, and then rewatchability, your movie has an excellent chance being in this genre of hitting $1 billion. So while I'm surprised that it's doing this well given its R rating, I'm not shocked. And the fact that, by the time most of you are listening to this, it's going to surpass domestically Passion of the Christ. So in essence, when Deadpool calls himself Marvel Jesus, he's not wrong.
No, I guess he's not. Marvel H. Christ.
So that will bring Deadpool and Wolverine, our Deadpool and Wolverine review, to a close. I cannot wait to hear what projects Hugh Jackman's going to be a part of next.
I'm so excited.
Pretty sure we know 2 of them, at least.
Yes.
Is there another one in between? Namely, a Hulk versus Wolverine? Probably, but it hasn't been confirmed.
We'll see.
But if I was a betting man, I'd put some Monopoly and money on that one.
I'm happy with whatever they give us with him.
But yeah, exactly. Basically, whatever they do with him is like ice cream. It's a bonus, right?
Let's see the suit again. Give us the brown and tan.
Yeah, give us the brown and tan again. I'd take that. But I'm excited to see what's next for Wolverine, and I'm getting excited again for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that's a win
on board.
All across the board. So Chris and I will be back to, of course, discuss. We're going to be talking more X-Men, more Blade, more MCU, more DC on the other side as well. But before before now, in our next episode, you want to chat with Chris and I, you can on social media. Chris, where do they find you?
You guys can follow me at thatchris70. I do a bunch of different stuff. You can find it all there.
You do. I definitely recommend Gathering of the Geeks, and of course, personal bias, DC Unlimited. That's of course because I love DC. That's my wheelhouse, and recommend that one as well. You can find me at Adam_LeafSfan on Twitter. We have the Facebook group, which will have a description in the link below. Click that, I will add you, and we can continue the conversation then. But remember, Deadpool and Wolverine are forever. From the first time Deadpool goes through the multiverse looking for a Wolverine variant to the last. So long, everybody.